Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, it's the only thing that I ask. So let's get straight to it. I did a big live stream on Friday, 1.5 hours. So I basically didn't do any new videos Saturday and Sunday. Took a little bit of time off on that, and today here I am. And actually, it's rare that certain things happen so quickly after you mention them. So last Thursday, you may recall, when Bitcoin went below 60,000, I mentioned, well, I've seen so many people wanting a pullback. I've seen so many people convinced that the bull market is here, although some of them were actually against it. But basically, when Bitcoin was going up, they were all convinced that the bull market was back and it's here, it's never left, blah, blah, blah. But then when we start dropping, to 62, 61, 60K, then all of a sudden the same old stories came back. Is the bull market over? Should I have been in stocks instead? With the ETFs, actually, now there's not going to be a bull market. Blah, blah, blah. All this kind of stuff, right? Then we dipped below 60,000. And I said, well, for all those people who were complaining they didn't get a cheaper price, this is your shot to show the conviction. And I've mentioned as well during my live stream and on Thursday as well that we are about to enter a phase where you can be very easily get left behind. And so it's going to be a test of convictions. I get the feeling that people say, oh yeah, I want to buy cheaper, but then when they see those big fat red candles, can they pull the trigger? I don't know. In any case, basically, within 4 or 5 days, here is Bitcoin close to 66,000. So all of a sudden now Bitcoin is great, everything is great again. Soon enough, you're gonna see the predictions of Bitcoin $1 million back. You know the drill. You've seen the movie many times. But let this be a reminder that the worst part of the crypto cycle now is to miss out. And basically things will move much faster than you think. By the way, on the stock market, there's not a big deal. All-time highs across the board. The Nasdaq and the Nasdaq 100 are very close to new all-time highs. The only thing that could be better is if TLT could put in a little bit of a better recovery. But other than that, everything is bullish. So I'm actually very curious to see what Harry Dent's going to say on Friday, after he declared that the top was in for stocks in July and that we're going to crash 94%. So I'm actually very curious to see what he's going to say. I get the feeling that he's going to move the goalposts into January or March 2025, and then he will keep on doing it, and before you know it, you are in 2028 or something. He doesn't understand that the currency is getting debased as we move along. But in any case, that's something for a different video. Ethereum has actually popped up quite nicely. I'm actually becoming more and more bullish in Ethereum. As you guys know, I've actually been criticized because I said I think Ethereum will surpass Bitcoin either this cycle or the next. And people, destroyed me completely. And then Ethereum has been underperforming this year. This is a true fact. I thought that the period for Ethereum outperformance would come, around Q2 2024, which has obviously not happened. So as you guys know, when I'm wrong on something, I always tell you. But the thing that makes me bullish about Ethereum, and I've said this in previous videos, and I've seen your friend Somi saying the same thing today, so shout out to him, is that everybody, pretty much, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but everybody and their mother is against Ethereum. All the influencers has abandoned them. All the influencers say bad things about it. I mean, even that guy from Crypto Banter says that he ended his toxic and abusive 4-year relationship with Ethereum. And they're all talking about Solana and Sui. And people get it always backwards. When the analysts and the experts and the influencers are talking about Solana and Sui, they are all positioned for it. They are all bought up. What they're trying to do is to convince people to come along and basically serve as exit liquidity. Now, does that mean that Solana or Sui will not do well in the bull market? Of course not. I think they will do well. I think their gains will underperform what most people expect because everybody is all in and bullish on them. It's always the same story. Everybody is trashing Ethereum. Everybody either doesn't know or is trashing Pulse Chain. Those are all opportunities. One of the things that these influencers never tell you is that there are massive unlocks coming in certain layer ones like Sui. You have massive token unlocks coming, which means massive supply to come into the market. And don't forget that these VCs get preferential allocations. So if you are 5x up on Sui, that means they are 50x. Never forget. That's why I love Pulse Chain. Supply is what it is. It actually gets burned over time. The founder buys its own coins, never dumps. There's no foundation dumping. There's no VCs with private allocation. There's no influencers with private allocations. There's no token unlocks. No, it is what it is. But once again, it's heavily undervalued in my humble opinion, which means that we need to go through undervalued into ultra overvalued. And then everybody will agree that actually Pulse Chain is great. And the same people that have trashed it will come up with narratives of why Pulse Chain will go to $1, for example. So the story is always the same. The name of the tickers changes. That's it. So I'm actually quite happy for Ethereum. I think Ethereum will do better than people expect. And some people were a bit concerned that everybody was trashing Ethereum. I said that's what you need for Ethereum to go up. Solana, everybody was trashing Solana when it was $8. But then when it approached its all-time highs, all of a sudden, Solana is the best thing out there, particularly when a lot of meme coins, where a lot of people get very rich on meme coins. Talking about meme coins, the reason why I have all or a vast majority of my lottery tickets in Pulse Chain and Ethereum. So on Pulse Chain, I have what I call lottery tickets is PDAI, is Launch, Pulse Launch, Pulse Spot. Those three are lottery tickets. Two of them doing quite poorly, which is Pulse Spot and Pulse Launch. The other one doing quite well, which is PDAI, for me at least. Then my retirement coins, what I call the retirement coins, are Pulse, PulseX, X, Hedron, and Icosa. And I do have incentive token. I consider incentive token 50-50 between lottery ticket and retirement coin. Okay. Then on Ethereum, I have Andy, Hoppy, since they were 1 million and 1.5 million market cap. I have Matt. I had Bird Dog, but I sold it, made quite a nice profit. I had what was it? 40, which was actually kind of garbage, and I lost 66% of my principal. And today I added BOPPY, which is BOPPY, which is the second creation of Matt Fury. So it's the same narrative, and I bought it at 600,000 market cap, and I bought about $1,000. So guys, that I always disclose it. So today at $600,000, I bought $1,000 of BOPPY. I will put the address in the description. As you guys know, am I trying to incentivize you to do the same? No, I'm not. I am disclosing my position because I'm always transparent and always honest, and you guys can say, for example, in 6 months' time, that coin went to the toilet. What a garbage coin, right? And or you can say, hey, this guy really did 100x. he was telling the truth, right? So that's the point. That's why every time that I buy or sell, I come and I disclose immediately, so there's no confusion and there's no manipulation of my returns. So you guys get the feeling that, that I'm trying to pull trying to trick you basically. And the reason why I do it because I'm broadcasting my journey into what I hope to be financial independence. And this will be basically chapter by chapter of that road. And actually, it would be good also for me to one day go back in time and see, okay, I made money in all of these coins, I lost money in those coins, and see if I was right. Now, in terms of how to pick coins, so somebody asked me. Now I'm gonna shift this a little bit into us answering questions. I think one person asked me which coins are the best to buy for the bull market, blah blah blah. Basically, if you're coming in now. Look, I cannot tell you that because then I'm giving you financial advice, and it basically puts me in a lot of trouble, and I struggle quite a bit. What I do is I try to apply a blueprint into how I pick certain cryptos. Number one, does it have a strong community? Number two, does it have hidden taxes or bad functions like honeypots and so on? Number three, who is the founder? If it's no one, if it's a community takeover, who is it, what is it, etc. Is it 90% down or more than that versus the old all-time high? Meaning it's cheap. So meaning after 90%, is there still activity in the coin, right? Are still people interested in it or not? Hopefully for lottery tickets, is it a small cap coin? If it is, I put a little bit of money. Once it does, for example, a 4x, I take out my principal and a bit of profit. And then I relax. Then I let it go. If it does a 20x, I take a little bit more. If it does a 50x, I take a little bit more. If it does a 100x, I take a lot of it. Now, Handy and Hoppy are a bit the exception in the sense of I truly believe that BOPPY will probably go close to what Dogecoin did the last cycle, and because Handy and Hoppy are kind of derivatives of it, I do expect these coins to do, at least billion-dollar market caps. So I will probably, take profit a little bit later. So it's a bit different. Then what else? For the more important coins, are there influencers already covering it non-stop? Then I don't like it as much. Are there VCs involved? I don't like it as much. So basically, I do a quick check around these things, and if the coin follows those principles, I am willing to give it a go. Now, I'm in a bit of a different position in which, because I spent a long time selecting my retirement coins, I'm very confident personally in taking the risk to allocate more funds into it. That's me. So what I did was I positioned myself that if Pulse Chain, PulseX, etc. do a 75x, for example, I already reached my target. So I don't need 1,000x, I don't need 5,000x. No, 75x, and I'm already where I want to be. With lottery tickets, what I do is I create a lot of wallets and I experiment, as the name indicates. I try to follow these principles and then I experiment with a few coins. And the idea is if I lose very small. If I win very big. That's my mentality. Now, does that mean that you should go and just listen to my coins and copycat and then do everything that I've done? I mean, it's up to you if you want to do it. I cannot forbid you. But am I trying to entice you to do that? Am I trying to encourage to do it? No. I'm here to show my story to the world, period. Like, I cannot make this more clear than what I say this in every video. People get upset or think it's boring, but I need to say it because I know there are a lot of people coming to the space and they are always, keen to copy paste, go all in the first coin that I mentioned, and then they blame me if something goes wrong. I cannot make more clear than what I just made. And I do believe that we are entering in a tricky stage of the market, which is the runaway phase, in which we're going to start to gap up quite aggressively to the upside. As I've said, I've predicted Bitcoin above 80,000 on the second half of November. I made this prediction during the Japanese crash, right? Where everybody was talking about Bitcoin 30K, sentiment was extreme fear, all of that. I came here and I said, Bitcoin above 80K before the end of November. Zero doubt on my mind. We just corrected into the 48K, which to me was very important. And we just went up from there. That's it, right? So to me, it was a clear bottom because everybody and their mothers were predicting Bitcoin 30, 20K, this kind of stuff. There's no way. Like everyone literally is bearish, so it's time we go up. Then the other question was about profit-taking strategy, right? So what I'm going to do, and I've mentioned this before, is I'm going to keep always something in crypto, around 15 to 20%. Then I need to be careful because typically the majority of the coins peak 12 months after the halving, which means March to April 2025, I will probably start taking a bit more aggressively the profit. Then I'm going to spend the time looking for the top signal, what I think is going to be the massive big top signal for this cycle. And then I will slowly take, for example, if I think the top will be in October or in September, I will take consistently profit probably 1 to 2% a day until I'm left with 20% or 15%. Why? If I'm right, I kept the majority of my gains. If I'm wrong, those other 20% will still do probably a nice 5-10x on top of whatever profits I already had. And that's the best that I can do if I come here and I try to wait, because you need to be careful, right? I'm not in Bitcoin, I'm in altcoins, right? So if I'm here and I am trying to pick the top, like for Bitcoin, it would be easier, right? Let's say the orange man gets elected. Let's say that he announces on 19 September 2025, we will create the US strategic reserve for Bitcoin. That's your perfect top signal. It's so easy. The top will be that day, in my opinion. But what if Pulse Chain already peaked a month and a half prior? Then it doesn't really matter to me now, does it? Or what if it peaks 3 weeks later? So what I'm going to be looking for is signs of euphoria. Depends on how the market is feeling. Like, are we going ballistically high? Are celebrities demanding to be paid in crypto? Is Jim Cramer doing a crypto episode in his CNBC stuff? Is Peter Schiff crying on a daily basis? Are people paying millions of dollars for stupid, for virtual real estate or whatever? Are people? You see, it depends. Like 2021, right? People are paying $1 million for pictures of monkeys. You have, who was it? Post Malone buying NFTs for $500,000. This kind of stuff. That is as clear as day that the top is coming. But the issue is, the last couple of months, you can have rampant gains. So if you sell half of your position, you risk losing a big chunk of the gains. But if you de-risk on a daily or on a weekly basis, you will probably capture a lot of the gains without risking that much downside. But look, this is my strategy. This will be refined better as we move forward. We are very far away from it. But one of the things that I've said, and I want to, and I stand by that feeling. Ethereum has been smashed and compressed and abandoned by everybody, which means I get the feeling, and I've said this in my live stream, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I'm not making a formal prediction, okay, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Ethereum ramps up 60-70% in like 12 days. I'm not saying starting from today, but I do see sometime around the cycle. Maybe it's now. Who knows? Maybe it's now, in which Ethereum just caps up and leaves everybody behind. And then that's the time that influencers will start saying, this is just a pump, it's going to dump. And as Ethereum keeps moving forward, more of them will be converted into Ethereum once again. By the time that they are all predicting Ethereum 100,000, then that's probably the top for Ethereum. See, it's always the other way around. But of course, they don't care. You see, these YouTubers, they make their stupid decisions. They make their, they also don't get it themselves, but they don't care because their audience is their source of passive income. Courses, memberships, Patreons, super chats, ad revenue, you name it. They make a lot of money from people watching them and their followers. So they are always fine. The problem is the followers, because those get annihilated. And I hope that I made myself clear. I really try to answer your questions. Once again, never forget, this is my opinion. This is not the rule of law. This is not, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my view of things. You are welcome to completely disagree and to destroy me in the comment section. And with that, thank you very much for your time, guys. Don't forget, drop the like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.